Hello again to all subscribers and listeners of this channel. This is Obsidian Radio, and today this video will be a review of Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 4, entitled Trust. And as far as I'm concerned, this was another episode that started off kind of slow, but built up really nicely as it went along. It showed the resolve of Flegel Reeves, Dimo Reeves' son. It showed just how corrupt, arrogant, and dishonest the military police are within this context. And it got us closer to seeing the scouts prove their innocence, find Historia and Eren, and shut down the coverup surrounding the Reiss family, or Reiss family. So it's a little more action-packed than Episode 3. It has a little less characterization, but it's still going on with the good plot build-up in the current timeline. So I consider this episode to be pretty good. So let's go ahead with the review. First thoughts. My first thoughts were that this is getting off to a good start, and I love the build-up of how human beings can be dangerous to each other in ways that are different from the Titans. And unfortunately, even in an age where the people could face extinction, there's still corruption that's going on, there's still greed, there's still dishonesty, disloyalty, etc. And it's quite believable that a secret royal family would actually conduct themselves in this manner during this type of situation. This brings in an element of psychological realism to Attack on Titan that really draws people like me in. If it's written well, then what happens is that less violence or even non-violent political conflict among the human characters can be incredibly interesting, entertaining, and even educative in the storyline. So as far as I'm concerned, it's far from boring. People just need to pay more attention, pace themselves, and actually follow what's going on to see that this is not a boring part of the story at all. Now, as far as the plot, the episode starts out with two younger officers, military police, out in the forest with their rifles looking for the scouts. They have a bit of an argument, but they eventually come upon Armin near a stream. They try to arrest him. They have him put his hands up. Armin pretends to surrender as the two MPs advance. They advance only to be successfully ambushed and disarmed by Captain Levi and Mikasa. Now the two officers' names are Marlowe and Hitch, who are actually newer recruits who actually trained with Historia and Eren and Mikasa and Armin and the rest of them. They're eventually led away after they go and have some conversation with Levi and everybody else at their, campsite. They're led away by Jean, who tests their resolve to see which side that they're really on. And Jean does this by pretending that he's going to execute them with a knife and a false gun. And they show that they do have loyalty to the scouts and to Levi's squad and to the people who are on the right side of history. So eventually they both are brought to help Levi and his squad ambush a group of more experienced MPs, more veteran MPs, who are eventually captured and then interrogated by Levi. Later on, in another part of the story, Flegel Reeves, who is Dimo Reeves' son, is being hunted down by the military police. They nearly corner him in an alley until Hanji drops down and saves him with their 3D maneuvering gear at the last second. Again, we see Levi beginning to torture one of the lead MPs, but he's not able to get any valuable information out of him. But they're not out of the woods yet, figuratively and literally. So we see more MPs walking through the forest after the Levi squad. Now we switch back to the Flegel situation. He's on the rooftop having a conversation with Hanji and Moblet. They eventually convince him to go along with the plan. And later we see Flegel again running from the MPs, but this time he's cornered. Before they're able to shoot him, he gives a speech which tricks them into confessing about what happened around his father's death. And as they have their guns trained on him, Flegel points to the sky. Hanji and Moblet descend down on their ODM gear or 3D maneuvering gear. They knock out all three MPs, reveal them that they were set up to admit their guilt in front of the residents of the Stohes district So they basically admitted that they had Dimo Reeves murdered. And it was the military police following the orders of the Reiss family or Reiss family. And they all just basically admitted it in front of all these witnesses in the Stohez district. So with encouragement from Hanji, Flegel announces to the crowd that the Reeves company will be on their side and will help the people reveal the truth about the king and the Reiss or Reiss family. I keep forgetting how to pronounce that. Meanwhile, Erwin Smith is in his cell after being tortured and beaten a couple times. His friend Niall is speaking with him. Erwin asks Niall to make a decision about which side he's on, or which side he's going to be on, before Commander Pixis attempts his bloodless coup d'etat. Erwin is then led to the king's chamber, awaiting, some type of kangaroo court trial and possible execution. The episode ends with a close-up of Erwin Smith as he's brought to kneel before what we now know is a false king. Interesting things that I noticed. I noticed a few things. A, Flegel's resolve against the MPs was quite impressive, actually. He may not be like a warrior or a fighter or anything like that, but his mentality and his resolve against those odds where they almost could have killed him. Really interesting writing, really good dialogue. Really liked that scene. Even though it was short, it was very interesting. Really good. Second thing I noticed, B, the military police are far too arrogant for their own good. So it makes it hard for me viewing this to respect them, although there are a few of them like Marlowe and Hitch who are somewhat likable or even admirable. C, the scene where Gene pretended he was going to execute Marlowe and Hitch shows not only a trust in others' resolve, but a steady maturation in Gene's character. Animation quality. The animation in this episode was quite beautiful. Really well done scene included Hanji punching the MP after he threatened Flegel, and another one was where Gene got smacked with the baseball bat or a stick or whatever it was in the forest. The attention to detail is truly superb, as far as I'm concerned. The best thing about the episode was how Hanji, Moblet, Flegel, Erwin, and Pixis, their overall plan to overthrow the false king of the walls actually seems to be working. It actually seems to be going pretty good. The way it's set up, the way it's going from beginning to end is actually working pretty well. And I like the way it's being shown throughout the entire episode. Worst about the episode, nothing bad at all, really. Another slightly less action-packed episode, but it built up really nicely, as far as I'm concerned. My favorite scene, I'm definitely going with the scene where Hanji is knocking out that particular MP, the one that almost shot her. She was able to dodge the rifle shot, punch him in the face, and basically knock him out. And then she's shaking and wringing her hand from the pain because she kind of overdid it. It was really funny that she was shaking like that when Moblet was telling her, yeah, you overdid it. It was funny. It was a good transition from intense to hilarious and an awesome all-around scene. As far as a 1 to 10 score, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. Good plot development. Not so much development with the characters, except Flegel. His character development was pretty good. Other than that, not much character development, but very good plot development. Definitely love how everything is moving forward when it comes to the coup d'etat attempt against the false royal family, as well as the military police, and as well as the resolve of the unsuspecting character like Flegel. And as far as my overall summary of the episode, overall, I like the episode's focus on some details like the setup that Hanji used against the MPs, Flegel's speech in front of the Stohez district, the slowly but increasing conflict between the scouts and the false royal government. And this build-up is nice and intense while utilizing good story arcing and not just focusing on mindless action. Again, from day one, Asayama Hajime and the animators that put it into anime, they do a good job of really showing a lot of intense transitions in storyline without overdoing the violence and the action. It's a really good balance that I see throughout the entire series, and it's still there to this day. Very good. So as far as the episode, trust episode 4 is definitely one of the more cerebral plot build-up episodes that I think was nicely done. So that's all for now. Please like, subscribe, share, and donate to support this channel. You all have a nice day. I'm out. Peace.